So stories from Vox, the huge stakes in a new Supreme Court case about pornography. Texas asks the justices to abandon long-standing First Amendment protections for sexual speech. I was kind of two minds when I read this. This is a long-form article, guys. It goes into a lot of the legal arguments with respect to the upcoming Supreme Court case. Nested in here, like a lot of things, I think, is what I think is a good idea, implemented very badly.
Yeah.
So the good idea, in my opinion, is that we probably should have some formal restrictions that make it more difficult for minors to access pornography online. That there should be some kind of age verification system that makes it a little more difficult. I know nothing makes anything impossible, so I'm saying it on purpose, but makes it more difficult. It's the means reduction idea, right? You make things a little harder, it affects most people's behaviors.
Makes things a little harder.
Makes things a little harder, makes things a little softer. So like, I think that is a generally well-intended idea. I support that idea. But behind that, because the technology already exists to do that without any real problems, behind that is an attempt to just get rid of porn. Yeah. This is just a vanguard to get rid of porn.
Yeah. This is something that the GOP does all the time. They do won't you think about the children when they want to attack things they don't like. Mm-hmm. Pornography. The drag queen story hour. The trans people. They will say, why don't you think about the children? And they will use that as a way to say, I am just trying to protect kids, even though it has very little to do with children, right? It doesn't have the things that they're expecting it to do with children. They want to get rid of porn, man. That's what they want. Yep. That's the thing that they're looking to do. And you know what they're going to do? They're already starting to suffer in several states where they can't log into Pornhub unless you get a VPN. If you don't have a VPN, in several states in the United States right now, you go to Pornhub and they're like, sorry, we just don't operate in your state. We just don't do that. We don't do that here. And so, there's going to be blackouts for porn. And that's what they really want is to stop porn altogether. But they're going to mask it and they're going to hide it behind, please, please, please think of the children as often as they can.
Yeah. And, I want to be clear too, because I know that listeners to this show understand my position. Like, I actually am not ethically speaking, I am not a supporter of pornography. I don't think that pornography is often produced or sold or distributed ethically. But I also don't trust the government to be the arbiter and censor. My solution to that problem has always been a consumer-focused solution. I think we as consumers need to be careful, conscious consumers of all the products that we consume and understand the implications. And I think, I don't believe in a top-down solution. I don't want to outlaw this, right? I don't like it because I think it's often produced in really deeply and distributed in deeply unethical ways that bother me. But I don't think that we should ban it from the top. The problem with banning it from the top is that you're asking the government to be the arbiter and censor of what is obscene and what's not obscene. And when you ask a bunch of religious right-wing wackos to hold that responsibility, the likelihood that they will hold that responsibility and discharge it well is exactly zero. I believe in a consumer-driven approach to handling this, what I think of is a real problem. But it's okay if somebody else doesn't, right? The solution, though, is not Texas will decide for you what's obscene. That is obscene. That is actually obscene. That is antithetical to, free speech in this country. That is antithetical to the idea of a small government beholden to the people. That's the government deciding what it is you can and cannot handle, rather than you as a consumer putting pressure on an industry to behave in more ethical ways.